hockey is reflective of great strides. From the Lys Alamo to that of a former Moscow Dynamo, Alexei Kovalev has followed a similar path. Olympic gold, World Junior gold, and the silver of Stanley. A new contract in the offing. The price of base metals is expected to rise. And as Mogilny and Kovalev go, so too do Sundin and Lemieux. One pair with a passing interest in the other two, as two teams rise to the fore tonight. There's little rest early on this season as the Leafs play their second game in 3 nights in the first of 14 games on back-to-back nights. They'll play the Rangers in New York tomorrow night and this evening. An opportunity to redeem themselves for an opportunity lost versus Ottawa 2 nights earlier. Robertsvale amongst the many Maple Leafs attending tonight's game. And goaltender Trevor Kidd as well. And the Swedish compatriots, Captain Matt Sundin and backup goaltender Michael Tellqvist. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Toronto. The much-anticipated debut of rookie defenseman Carlo Koliakovo along the Toronto blue line will have to wait for at least one more night. Head coach Pat Quinn electing to go with the same lineup that took on the Ottawa Senators on Saturday night, including goaltender Trevor Kidd, who will make his second consecutive start for the blue and white and hopes to duplicate the performance that made him the game's first star on Saturday night. That despite the fact that the Leafs lost to Ottawa 2-1. Regardless, Kidd's efforts provided Toronto with an opportunity to win the game despite being outshot 35-23. He'd make 33 saves, many of the spectacular variety, and will remain the starter for at least 3 games while Ed Belfour recovers from an infected thumb. The Leafs, to a man, admitted that penalties proved to be their undoing on Saturday night, and staying out of the penalty box will be necessary tonight.
Yeah, well, I think most of the penalties are being called are mostly the new ones. You know, obviously they're going to call the old ones like they did in the past, but we got to maintain a physical presence out there and make sure that we're taking the body, but at the same time stay within the rules of the game.
And tonight, Darcy and company will face a legendary leap killer in Mario Lemieux. He has recorded 65 points in 31 career games versus Toronto, including 28 goals. The Rangers know those kind of numbers all too well. Mario's scoring career goals number 55 and 56 against the Rangers on Saturday night. The key is 6-0 victory, and even the Pens record at 1-1. This is the second of 4 meetings between these two teams this season. Pittsburgh back at the ACC on December the 9th. Toronto, by the way, 54-58 lifetime against the Pittsburgh Penguins. As Vela, Trevor Kidd and company get set to head onto the ice for tonight's game. And as mentioned, Pittsburgh and Toronto getting ready for the second of 5 meetings in as many nights. And the Leafs very confident of victory here after a tough loss to the Ottawa Senators on Saturday night. The Pittsburgh Penguins, on the other hand, as well, buoyant with confidence following a big victory over the Rangers at home on Saturday night. But here come the Toronto Maple Leafs for their second home game of 41 in this 2002-2003 season. Jean-Sebastien Aubin will make his second consecutive start for the Pittsburgh Penguins in relief of Johan Hedberg, who was shelled by Toronto on 23 shots on Thursday night. He gave up 6 goals in the process. So it's the Maple Leafs and Penguins on Rogers Sportsnet Ontario. The opening face-off with Joe Bowen and Harry Neal is next. From the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, Molson Canadian Leaf Hockey is on tap. Molson Canadian Leaf Hockey on Rogers Sportsnet Ontario is brought to you by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game.
Sportsnet Live with Jamie Campbell and Brad Fay.
15 Leaf games this year. We have the next 3 Monday nights. We'll provide you with updates, analysis, and stories throughout the season.
Tonight, always exciting when Mario Lemieux is in town, and no lineup changes for the Toronto Maple Leafs despite the loss to Ottawa on Saturday night. And for their thoughts on that, to get us teed up once again, Darren Dreger and company.
All right, Bradley, thank you very much. Gord Stellick, a real quick thought here. Carlo Koliakovo, are they getting him into the lineup anytime soon?
Well, they have to get him. Well, I tell you what, they have to get him. I wish I had him. They have to get him in soon, or else got to send him back because he's wasting his time rotting away in the press box. They got to make a decision.
And it's tough for Pat Quinn because you want to get those kids in. You don't want them sitting around for too long, but at the same time, they've allowed 2 goals against in 2 games, none at even strength. So who do you take out of the lineup?
Well, you know what? He has been critical of a few guys, but in Brian McCabe, he certainly feels like he hasn't stepped up. So until you see a few veterans really get their game on, perhaps you won't see Koliakovo.
Yeah, you take Brian McCabe out of the lineup, you have to be pretty sure that you're giving this guy the opportunity. So we'll see. We expect that we'll see him perhaps later this week. We'll find out. Tonight, the concentration is on the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Pittsburgh Penguins. It is Game 3 for both clubs in terms of the regular season, Game 2 of the season series.